All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our MJBizCon 2024 webinar. This webinar is for weeding out confusion, pun intended, where we are going to assist you with cultivating success with our exhibitor services. We have Craig Gabler, who is joining us from Freeman. We have our very own Molly McElwin and Emily Williams from our MJBiz team, and I am Abby Coleman. I am going to turn it over to Craig to get started in just a moment. I do want to remind you all that there will be a live Q&A. There's a chat box within this webinar. You can submit your questions. For questions that can be answered inside the chat, we have Molly and Emily monitoring that. And then for anything else, we can wait until the end of the webinar, but get those questions in. And then this is going to be recorded and posted on the MJBizCon website, as well as emailed out to all of you. So without further ado, I'll give it over to Craig.
Thank you so much, Abby. Like Abby mentioned, my name is Craig Gabler. I'm the Director of Customer Experience at Freeman. And one of our roles is to ensure that when you are planning for your event, that you have all the information that you need. Now, shows can be, if you go to many shows or maybe just one show a year, you'll know that there are times where shows have very specific logistical instances, things about the building, things about the facility. Those are the types of planning and details and information that we're going to share today, because we want to make sure that as you're preparing for the event, you have everything that you need. So we are going to cover 5 quick topics: how to access Freeman and through the online resources. We're going to go a little bit into what show services are available, both from Freeman as well as other vendors. We're going to talk a little bit about shipping and material handling and how they work together, because if you're a newer exhibitor, that may be unfamiliar to you. And it's very logistically important. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to go over some details like the show schedule, give you some on-site tips, both logistically and to save you money. And then, like Abby mentioned, we're going to have a live Q&A at the end. Again, like she mentioned, just as a reminder, go ahead and drop your questions into the Q&A chat feature, and then we will tackle those as we go. All right, let's get started. So if you're newer to exhibiting, you may not know that because there are so many details to understand, it really does take quite a long time to prepare. You have to understand deadlines, you have to review order forms and shipping information. And we say that it typically takes a person at least an average of 45 days to really understand the information, know where to go, check out the websites. So we suggest, with that timeline in place, that you should really start preparing for the event at least by October 17th. So if you haven't started yet, you might as well use watching this webinar to kind of kick off that information, start looking at all of the details that we're going to share with you in this webinar. Freeman is an official vendor for MJBizCon, so we more than likely are already in contact with the main point of contact that MJBiz has shared with us. These are the set of emails that come directly to that main point of contact's email inbox. There's 3 of them. There's one about getting started, providing you an overview of the details of what we offer for the event. We also send a reminder email 1 week before the discount deadline for Freeman services. And then we also send a final one to help you prepare for the show with additional contacts and need to know information that will help you prepare as you're getting ready to get on site. Now, if you aren't a main point of contact, there's lots of other ways to access Freeman information. The MJBiz Exhibitor portal, if you're looking at that site, if you go under Exhibit and click on Exhibit Resource Center, you're going to open a page, and there's actually 2 different ways that you could view the information and access Freeman services. There's a very important section called Required Reading, and that very first link is about the Exhibitor Service Manual, and much of that information lives within what we call Freeman Online. You'll also see under Order Services, Freeman Online. Both of those will actually take you into the Freeman site to gather more information. Once you go onto Freeman Online, this is a picture of the homepage. We try to make it as intuitive as possible. At the top of the screen, there's a dynamic schedule. We have an area that identifies what's included in your booth space. There's an Amazon style shopping area called Shop Products and Services. There's lots of actual custom tiles as well. So there's something we're going to talk about in a little bit called the hosted freight package. There's an opportunity for you to click and get free furnishings. Again, we'll cover that a little bit later. Set up shipping and material handling, lots of information just from this main page. So even if you were to just log into Freeman Online, start getting familiar with that homepage, it's really going to tackle and provide you access to a lot of the information that'll get you settled. We also have a virtual assistant that just launched. Its name Sky. And sometimes it's difficult to find and search through all the different pages. So you can start to ask Sky questions about shipping dates, important scheduled information, and you can get that directly from our virtual agent. If for some reason Sky doesn't know the answer, we'll automatically connect you to a live agent to get you whatever you need. So Freeman Online is really meant to help you get the information and plan appropriately. Freeman Online is a completely digital site, but you still can save and print documents just like any other normal site. So you can turn everything into a PDF and gather that information so you can share it with your team. So you just look for the little print button at the top right of any informational page. So for MJBiz, there's lots of information about what's included in your booth. So if you are an inline 10 by 10 booth or an inline booth, you get additional items automatically. So you'll get the back drape and the black side dividers. You also have an opportunity to get booth furnishings for free. Now, there's a caveat to this because one of those main icons right at the homepage is to order free furnishings. We do ask that you submit that and go in. You're basically placing an order for $0 for those specific items like a drape table, chairs, wastebasket. And we ask that you submit that request for those free furnishings by November 4th. There's also some other additional information about free services. It's called a freight or hosted freight package. And what that means is if you're shipping items and we receive it to the advanced warehouse or directly to show site, it's complimentary as well. So we'll get into the hosted freight package a little bit too, but that's also an opportunity to get items that are free and provided complimentary. And island booths over 400 square feet automatically get a wastebasket per 100 square feet. There's an ID sign that you can receive as well. And if you're an inline booth, so 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 10 by 30, you automatically also get gray carpet for your flooring. We do want to note that the inline booths get automatic carpet, but if you're an island booth, so the larger booths where you have an aisle on all four sides, you are required to get flooring, whether you can ship it in because it comes with your exhibit or you can rent it from Freeman. So lots of items come complimentary for the show. It's really great. Beyond that, Freeman is the vendor for all of the services you hear, display items and exhibits, and lots of different types of labor too. So Freeman covers a lot of the logistical services that you may need. The first thing I want to mention about the offerings that we have is we want you to save money. We want you to get as much return on investment as possible and pay the least amount. So this is an important date. You want to remember Monday, November 4th. Please submit all of your orders to Freeman by that date, and you get deep discounted rates for all of your services. That's also the same date where we ask that you submit that request for free furnishing. So November 4th, put a big circle on your calendar for that because you'll want to make sure that you get all of the items from Freeman submitted by that date. I should mention other vendors that offer other services may have a different discount deadline date. But they're usually around the same time. So that's Freeman services, and make sure that you check out other vendors as well. So just quickly through our services, again, flooring is provided for inline booths. You get automatically gray carpet, but those island booths may not. So if you're not shipping something in, you can order flooring from Freeman. We have various types of carpet. We have vinyl, we have turf. So depending on what you want the layout of your booth to look like, flooring options are available if you are not automatically receiving that free carpet. Furnishings, it's always important as you're thinking about how to lay out your display to really think about what your goals are for the event. Are you going to be putting out a presentation? Do you need lounge seating to be able to talk with the attendees and your clients that you're trying to attract, right? Do you need display items that will present for? So we have lots of different furnishings items to meet any of these different strategical needs. So be sure to take a look at all of our different furnishing options. We're also a full print house. So if you want graphics printed or collateral, we're able to get those things done and deliver them directly to your booth. So we're a full print shop as well. And if you actually want to have a complete exhibit fabricated for you, we have lots of really high-end professional exhibit solutions at any price point. So the two on the left, we have exhibit bundles and packages you can order right within Freeman Online automatically. But we actually have even higher end custom exhibits that you could get from our modular exhibit collection or custom fabrication, where we would assign you a salesperson and they can actually design you the exhibit of your dreams. So if you don't have an exhibit space and you're wanting hard walls, you're wanting full graphics, a more polished exhibit space, we have those available options for you right within Freeman Online. Now, beyond display services, I want to talk quickly about labor services. If you have done exhibits in different cities or gone to different shows, you may know that the rules and regulations about what you can and cannot do on your own versus what you need additional labor services for change from city to city. So it's important that you understand those rules. And in Las Vegas, these are the rules and regulations that we ask you to follow. So full-time employees of exhibit companies, can they set up and tear down their own booth materials? They can perform maintenance on their own equipment. They get to open all the boxes, stock your shelves, distribute and set up your products, put out your product in literature. You can unload your own vehicles at designated unloading areas as long as it's not a commercially registered vehicle. You can even use a lightweight hand cart to move small items. So lots of opportunities if you want to do things on your own, or you don't have an installation and dismantle team that's going to be doing that on your behalf. You can take care of a lot of those small display items yourself and set up your exhibit should you want to. If you do need additional help, if it's outside of the realm of any of those rules and regulations I just covered, Freeman can offer labor services on your behalf. If you order display labor services from Freeman, it's per person per hour. The start times are always guaranteed at the start of each day. If you maybe want to come in the afternoon, we'll get you the next available team. So whenever you get to show site, if you have a labor order with us, please just let us know. You can contact Exhibitor Services and you can communicate that you're on site and you're ready for your labor. So if you need to cancel, we just ask you complete it in writing 24 hours in advance. And, you know, some people actually don't want to worry about the setup. They want to just show up, have their exhibit structure set up exactly the way that they imagine, and they want to focus on meeting clients and really getting the real return on investment. So if that's the case, we actually have Freeman supervised labor, where you submit all of your information and your schematics about what your exhibit space should look like, and we'll automatically build it even before you get there. That's called, we'll supervise it on your behalf. So just another option if you're interested in just focusing on sales and meeting your clients. Freeman's also the vendor that handles hanging signs and overhead rigging. So again, it's a labor service. Not everyone always gets to hang things from the ceiling based on your size and based on the location. So it's always really important to look at the exhibit hall rules and guidelines. But again, it's a labor service, so it would be per person per hour. Again, start times are guaranteed at the beginning of the day. But because we hang things from the ceiling, you know, obviously there's a safety concern. So there's actually some additional documents you need to submit if that's the case. If you want to hang something from the ceiling, we call it a structural integrity form. And then if you are going to ship, if you're going to hang things from the ceiling, we ask that you ship those items to the advance warehouse, not directly to show site. That allows us to receive those in advance, and we will get those up in the ceiling before the rest of the freight begins moving in. Freeman's also the electrical and utilities service. So should you need power at your booth, if you're going to be having equipment or displays or laptops or electrical needs, we will do that on your behalf. So again, you place those orders with Freeman. So you want to place that in advance. We have helpful resources on Freeman Online so you may not know how much power you need to power lights in your booth or a monitor, et cetera. So we have a usage guide on Freeman Online that can outline that information for you. And that's always really important to submit so that you can get that information to us and we can prepare in advance for your electrical needs. Freeman's also the cleaning service vendor. So should you need your booth vacuumed every morning, or if you're going to be passing out food products or something that will cause waste that needs to be picked up throughout the day, you can place cleaning labor service orders with Freeman as well. Now I'm going to talk quickly about material handling services. That idea, you may have heard of shipping and handling. That's the same idea. Shipping or transportation is the idea of moving things from your location, from your office, your warehouse, and getting them to the show. You can actually ship to 2 different places to receive them. We have, again, an advanced warehouse and directly to show site. So if you ship those items with a carrier, whether it's UPS or FedEx or a over-the-road carrier like, I don't know, there's lots of trucking companies, right? Or even your own company vehicle, we can receive it at 2 different locations. We have an advanced warehouse that starts November 1st. And then you can also deliver it directly to show site as well. And remember, we have that hosted freight package, which means that the handling fees for receiving that freight can be complimentary from the warehouse or show site. The only caveat with that is we need to make sure if you ship to the warehouse, it is by that discount deadline. So then we'll receive the freight from either the warehouse or show site. We'll bring it to your exhibit space. When you let you unpack, we'll then hold the empties during the show. We'll bring the empties back so that you can pack up after the show is over. And then those items get packed up and put on carriers or in your own vehicle, however it's leaving the show. So all of the green in the middle, that's what we call material handling. And that's actually the part that can be complimentary as long as you ship to the warehouse by November 26th or you go directly to show site. This is just some more details about that hosted freight package. It applies for shipments received at the advanced warehouse before the deadline or direct shipment. The only caveat beyond that is if you are shipping items and they weigh over 3,000 pounds, it would potentially be subject to additional equipment and labor charges. But beyond that, material handling often it can be quite an item to budget. So it's actually a really great thing on this show that it's complimentary for you as long as you meet those specific requirements. Again, if you're not familiar with shipping and material handling as a service for events, we have a whole section right at the top of Freeman Online called Shipping and Material Handling, where it has pre-printed labels. It has some educational information. You can learn more about the services and how they work together, information about where trucks need to check in, that we call that a marshaling yard, how the empty storage process happens. There's a lot of really helpful information just that's quick and really easily digestible so you can understand that service that we offer. For carriers that are coming to deliver, there's that advanced warehouse, but then there's also show site deliveries. And if you're being shipped directly to show site, we have what's called a marshaling yard. It's where trucks that are delivering directly to show site need to check in first. The reason for that is, imagine if all the trucks showed up at the facility at the same time. We need a way to be able to organize those trucks and take them first come, first serve so that we can have an efficient delivery system during move-in. So the address for the marshaling yard is on the screen with a few more details. Be sure if you are shipping items with a carrier and you're going directly to show site, you provide this information to your carrier. If you don't have a carrier, maybe you're just bringing things in your own vehicle. We call that a POV or a privately owned vehicle. Those are those vehicles like cars, pickups, vans, and other vehicles that are made for passenger use, even a taxi or an Uber. What we're trying to do is, the intention is that those are vehicles that have small items that you're just delivering, not like large carriers. Those need to go to the marshaling yard. But if it's your own vehicle or a small POV, you can use the POV cart service. And that it will have workers that'll move items from your vehicle to and from. Cart service also includes the storage of any empty containers. And just keep in mind that the parking lot is probably going to can have a lot of congestion. So we actually suggest you just ship items to the warehouse or directly to show site if possible. The moving from your vehicle might actually cause a little bit more struggle than if you were to ship to one of the locations, since it's complimentary. Now, during the show, you set up your show, you set up your display, you're ready to actually meet your clients. You don't want those big empty containers or, fiber cases or containers that your boxes, we will actually hold those for you. So when you're done setting up, you'll want to get some empty container stickers from Freeman you'll put your booth number on it, and we'll bring those away from your booth for the show and then bring them back at the end of the show so that you can pack up. So keep that in mind. Those containers leave, and as soon as the aisle carpet is removed, we will start to bring all of those back to your display area so that during move out, you can pack those items back up. Sometimes it does take quite a few hours. So keep that in mind when you're working on your travel plans. If you or the person is going to be packing everything up, and dismantling your exhibit to get it ready for shipment, that empty container time does take a while. So if you actually need them efficiently delivered back quickly, you can get priority empty labels. Those are available for every show, and each label is $160, and those come back guaranteed within 2 hours. So if you have an efficient need for time to kind of get your items packed up quickly once that show is over, you could use priority empties. Now, every item that's leaving the show, whether it's going in your own vehicle, whether it's going on a carrier, if it's leaving the facility, we need outbound paperwork. That's the way that we organize that outbound process. And you can actually let us know what carriers or who's taking the items from your booth back to its final destination. You can submit outbound paperwork information in advance. Or you can tell us at show site. But the most important thing is, if things are being transported to a carrier so that they can leave through a dock, we need that outbound paperwork. This is what the document will look like at show site, the physical version of it. The gray areas all need to be filled out with some details. It says, how many items are we picking up from your booth space and delivering to a carrier? What's the destination? What's the carrier? And then we get an authorized signature from you. Freeman is also a shipping company. So if you want us to do it from picking it up in advance, moving the freight at show site, and then getting it home to where you need, we have a transportation services company, and we can get you a quote directly from within Freeman Online. So keep that in mind. Now, that sounds like we do a lot, right? Freeman is a service that provides for many of the things that you need, but there are lots of other companies actually that are supporting you for MJBizCon that do other services like AV, catering, photography, et cetera. They're all listed here. The nice thing is you don't have to know you don't have to remember if it's a Freeman service or if it's another contractor. If you go onto Freeman Online, every vendor is listed. So if you want to find AV, it's also listed on Freeman Online, even though it's actually handled by another company. It makes it just a little bit easier to do your planning. You can kind of think of Freeman Online as your one-stop shop, and it'll link to their site, provide you all the information so you can place orders with those companies as well. Just some quick show site information. Early move-in begins December 1st. There is early move-in options, but you must meet one of the requirements. Your booth is 800 square feet or larger, or you have heavy machinery or large shipping containers. So if that is you and you'd prefer to try to get in at the early time of December 1st, there's an email address on the screen that you can submit that request to, operations@mjbiz.com. And this is the overall schedule. Exhibitor move-in starts that first early day, December 1st, December 2nd, and 3rd. You'll see that there's some highlighted times for the larger booths on December 2nd, Booths 400 square feet and larger start at 8 a.m. And then all exhibitors of all sizes can automatically start moving in December 2nd at 1 p.m. The exhibit hours are listed on Wednesday, December 4th, 5th, and 6th. The show closes at 3 p.m. And then move out begins 3 p.m. till 11 that night. And then the next day on Saturday, December 7th, 8 to noon. On that last day, just a couple key things to keep in mind. We ask all carriers that are picking things up from the facility be checked in by 10 a.m. and that everything has to be off the show floor and delivered to carriers and basically leaving the facility by noon on that Saturday, December 7th. Now, there's a lot of information, and you'll probably have some need for assistance at show site 2. So whether you want to check on your freight, you want to place a new order or get assistance, we make it really easy. So when you get to your booth space at show site, we will have a flyer in your booth, and it will actually have this picture on it. And it has the contact information for the exhibitor services team. So should you need to get a hold of anybody to check on anything or place a new order, look for that flyer, and it makes it very easy. Also, if you're a tech person, directly from Freeman Online, there's actually services that you can do self-service. So you can request a concierge to come to your booth by clicking on the concierge services icon. You can set up notifications so that you know when your empties are back or when your freight trucks are checked in. So lots of really helpful notifications that you can get for both you and anyone else. And then you can even submit your outbound paperwork directly from Freeman Online. So if you're a tech person and you like to do things on your own, lots of opportunities to take care of those things on your own. Just finally, just some cost savings and planning tips. Make sure you read that whole section on the MJBiz Exhibitor portal called Required Reading. Lots of really important dates, times, and information there. You want to order all your items prior to vendor discount deadline dates, both Freeman's as well as the other vendors. You want to ship your items with setup instructions in them. You want to consolidate any shipments, avoid that late to warehouse fee by getting them by that deadline. But the most important thing is if you're the person setting up the booth, you're maybe placing the orders, you're getting the shipping materials ready, make sure that the teams that are going to be on site have all of that information. That'll make sure that they have a effective move-in. Now, there might be questions beyond this webinar. So you are free to get in touch with our exhibitor support teams. You can chat, text, video chat, call, email. We have lots of other information, so you can get a hold of Freeman teams to help you plan and get ready for your event in any way that you'd see fit. And with this is the end of the Freeman portion. I'm going to kick it back to Abby, and she's going to quickly talk about some additional resources for you.
Thanks so much, Craig. That was all really great information. As you all are hopefully well familiar with, we have our MJBizCon site, and on that site is the Exhibitor Resource Center, which has all the tools that you need to be successful exhibiting at our show. A couple of things that I want to highlight that are on there are the Exhibitor Service Manual, which if you haven't taken a look at it, it is pretty hefty, but it has all of everything you would need to know regarding exhibiting, and it's something that is in a nice PDF where you can just download that and save it. I highly recommend. And then we have, again, where you can register for your badges, you can register your team, you can book your hotel. We also have links to the exhibitor dashboard and links to all of the newsletters that go out. A little plug for sponsorships, but in all seriousness, if you want to enhance your booth and get traffic there, sponsorships are a great way to go, and we have a lot of really great options. And then for promotional tools, we have our official logos. Everything's already created for you, crafted, ready to go. And it'll give you a specific code that you can use for customers and prospects to get 20% off attending MJBizCon. And then new this year, we have exhibitor press releases. Every exhibiting company can do one press release. This is a tool that I highly recommend you take advantage of, as all of these press releases are posted on the website. We've only had 3 companies right now take advantage of this. So if you haven't, definitely take a look. It's again, a great way to get traffic to your booth and eyes on your company. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Molly, who is our extraordinaire for exhibiting. And Molly, if you have anything to note on this, otherwise we can transition over to the Q&A.
No, I think that was perfect. Thank you, Abby. I didn't see many questions come through the Q&A, but feel free to maybe unmute if you'd like, or you can type them into the Q&A down on the bottom. And most of you know my email, molly.mcelwain@mjbiz.com. You can always send me an email there if you don't want to share it publicly, if it's more of a unique question just for you. But I am here to help you with anything you need. Don't see anything coming through, so maybe feel free, like I said, to email me or call me, whatever works best for you. And
Looks like we just got one
Oh,
question, Molly.
awesome.
Daniel.
Well, there's a couple. Awesome. Okay. Exhibitors set up their own booth displays or hire third-party vendors. That's from Scott. Scott, it is your decision. So if you have, I don't know what size booth you have, but for inline booths, typically 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 10 by 30, these booths are maybe less intricate, and you have a pop-up banner, you have your wares you'd like to display, an iPad, a computer, a TV screen, something like that. You are welcome to set it up on your own. You do not have to hire I&D, that's install and dismantle, but you can if you want. If you have purchased a booth package from a vendor, an installation or dismantle company, a production company, and they come in and set it up for you and they clean it out. Okay, so large island with a big center display. So you do not have to hire Freeman. No, if you have, the ability to set up your items on your own, you do not have to hire them. Freeman does bring your items from the dock to your booth, and then from the booth back to the dock. And then once it's in your booth, you can set it up. The only caveat being if you're hanging anything from the ceiling. So we mentioned hanging signs or really hanging anything. I've seen people hang bathtubs from the ceiling. So, you can't get on a, a cherry picker or anything like that and get up in the air. So can't do that. But if it's on the ground, from ground up, you are welcome to set it up on your own. I hope that helps. Send another question if you need more clarification. Ladders, no, you cannot get off the ground. So that is the caveat there. You need to have somebody supervising. So that would be like if you have your own contractor coming in, maybe you're using a contractor, they can do it because they've submitted their fee, their $300 fee to be a contractor, and their own insurance to cover these things. But I think that should help. Okay, perfect. Yay, thank you, Scott. And then for Daniel, deadline to register our staff. So the best practice would definitely to be registered by the deadline that we have listed on our website. I don't know, maybe we don't have one posted at the moment. I don't see one posted. But what I would say is you want your people registered prior to them arriving on site. Don't have the expectation that you'll be able to walk up to registration and use one of the complimentary exhibitor expo only passes. We do require the primary contact or the key contact in the registration portal to say, say I am that person and I want to register Abby. I would need to be there to say, I'm Molly as the key contact for registration for XYZ exhibit company, and allowing Abby to use one of my complimentary passes. So the key contact definitely should have the team registered prior to arriving on site. So if you have, your badges and you're registering you know, on the day before you come, it's okay. Just before you go, you want to have your photo uploaded and your confirmation QR code ready to go. So then you can just walk up and slide through registration. If you've been to our show before, you know sometimes registration lines can get long, and you guys, you know, are there to run your exhibit. So we definitely want to make sure that you have everything you need ahead of time to just walk right through and get into your show. Do you have any other questions? Awesome. Thank you. I think that's it for now. Like I said, feel free to email me, molly.mcelwain, it's MCELWAIN at MJBiz.com. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Good luck. Have a great show.